Icon isn't really a term you can throw around to loads of cars, but not every car is a Range Rover. When the first one was introduced in 1970, thematically it was so ambitious, both in its quest for luxury and go-anywhere ability, that it pretty much changed the off-road landscape forever. Fast forward to 2013 and this fourth generation Range Rover is lighter thanks to an all-aluminium chassis. It's got 20mm extra ground clearance, it's got more space in the boot and space in the back, it's got more efficient engines and has got more luxury than ever before. But to find out if it's still capable of storming mountains and fording streams, we're going on a slightly different road trip. From here, the beaches of Essaouira in Morocco, right through to the 2,700 metre Atlas Mountains, taking on almost every terrain imaginable in between. It is going to be epic. We are currently surfing the dunes. They're going to lead us onto the highways that take us into Marrakech later on tonight, and as you can see, there is nothing that lives around here. The car's just dealing with it though, it's just absolutely cruising. What's really remarkable is the fact that a lot of the functions now, like the hill descent control, terrain response, it can be all automatic, meaning you don't need to switch through a load of toggle systems, whether you're in sand or mud or snow. The car just senses it. All I've done really is just select this low terrain response button here, which also happens to jack the car's ride height up and protect those pretty bumpers. Then I just point the car and we go. The vast majority of Range Rover drivers are going to be spending most of the time on motorways or in towns. So this final 150-kilometre stretch of asphalt that takes us straight into Marrakech this evening has been a really good way of assessing that part of this car's character. And you know how most people described the previous generation Range Rover as effortless to drive? This one's even more so. There's a number of factors that help it. The first being the lightweight. It is noticeably lighter on its feet than the previous car, and that gives it more accurate turning, it gives you more confidence from behind the wheel. Now I must point out, it's still no sports SUV. Now how many sports SUVs do you know could take on the desert? The other part is this new 8-speed automatic transmission replacing the old 6-speed auto. And though it may sound overkill, it makes the gear shifts imperceptible, and when you're trying to create a really luxurious and cosseting environment, having a smooth powertrain is part of that answer. And the final point is a multitude of factors. These headrests are more like pillows, you've got a ride quality that's Rolls-Royce-esque, but all of these things aren't really a surprise because you consider the benchmarks that Land Rover has put against it. They've included the Rolls-Royce Ghost, Mercedes S-Class, all to try and beat them for ride and handling, noise, vibration and harshness, and it really works. I mean, listen to the wind noise. It's barely existent, and these A-pillars are tiny, so your visibility is brilliant, and that's why it's just gorgeous to ride them. We have finally made it to Marrakech. This is actually one of the main squares called Jamar Fanar, and it basically becomes one of the biggest open-air restaurants you've ever seen every evening. You've got everything on sale here, from snails with cumin to sheep's brain over there. The smells are intoxicating, but I think we're going to have to hit the hay quite a while before all this lot does, because we have got a big day tomorrow. Oi, Camel! Mr. Camel! Yes, you! Do you know how to get to the Atlas Mountains? Hello. We're now at the base of the Atlas Mountains, and I'm currently wading through the riverbeds following these piles of rocks which the locals call cairns. Basically, it's quite comforting to know that there's other people that have been down here, because this doesn't look like your average terrain. But the wading depth of the new Range Rover has been improved, and it's just going over this effortlessly. I honestly think that today's ascent is going to be more challenging than yesterday, but the views, just wherever you look, they're just spectacular. Look at that. Would you look at that? We have spent the last 2 days driving over dunes, mountains, motorways, even riverbeds. But this is really what all the fuss has been about. The light and the cloud cover is so soft at the moment that the view just looks like a giant watercolour. To the north, over there, is the road that takes you back into Marrakech, but to the south, you've got the vast void of the Sahara Desert. I think we'll leave that for another adventure. We've got a pretty good idea what we could take.